Hello, it's Tuesday and I'm here to bring you card number 2 for June Jacobs virtual stamp party, online party. So if you're just joining in and this is new to you as one of June's friends, how it works is if you would like to place an order, you can contact me to order through June's party, or you can order online as well through my website. And that will work just fine to do that either way. And if your order is minimum $25, then you get the 3 cards that I make in her 3 virtual crafting sessions as a thank you from both June and I. Hi Julie, hi Wendy. Today I'm trying not to be nervous, but I'm gonna try a little change with my camera angle, and I might need some feedback from you guys. So I usually start out face to face, and then I make the camera angle go sideways, but I'm realizing as I color things in, sometimes my hands are actually covering up what I'm coloring, and especially with the blends, I think it's kind of fun, or even any technique that I'm doing, it's fun for you guys to see how to do it, so when you're doing it on your own, then you can see how that works and such. And so with that, I always am hoping to teach you guys, because I'm not with you to help you when you ask questions, even though always know that you can ask me questions. But my goal with these videos too is to do something that you can replicate at home too. So I'm just going to make sure that that my iPad is catching you guys so I can see the comments before I switch things around too. But let me show you card number 2 while that gets connected to our slow internet out here. So this is card number 2 for June Jacobs. And so I was really inspired today. Hello, June. June, the hostess, is here. Yay. And Linda too. So great. I ran some errands, and at the end of my driveway, my apple tree is just getting really loaded, and it always looks more full when the apples turn red. And so I thought, let's make some red apples today for June's card. So I've been having a lot of fun with the Plaid Tidings Designer Series paper and such, and so I wanted to show you something using that. And also, before I get too busy, I had to show you something kind of fun. So today we're using the Harvest Hellos stamp set. And so I am using, like last month I used, here, I have too many things in my hand. Last month I used the pumpkin stamp, so today we're going to use the apple stamp. And what I love is both of these images punch out with the Apple Builder punch, so that's great. So what I love is that Stampin' Up! Kind of like pre-cut the inside of that apple out. And so if you know at all, I used to work at a dentist office part-time for 14 years. So when I take the inside image out of that apple, that Stampin' Up! Die cut, it kind of looks like a molar. So some people might toss that. I'm going to keep that because you never know when that might come in handy, especially with my grandkids. I could make a card like my first lost tooth or a scrapbook page or something with that image of the molar. So I'm keeping that for that too. So kind of fun, kind of a neat little who knew that it was right inside that apple in there too. So let's see. Hi, Sherry. So I think I just want to, I don't see my live version coming up on my iPad today, and it really needs to work because there I am, for the fact that that's the only way that I'm going to see your comments today is by seeing that. So I'm going to see if I swap my camera down to my work area here. I want to see if that is something that you guys can see. There we go. My hands, but I don't want it to be upside down either. So I'm afraid if it looks upside down to you guys, it's not going to be very fun for you guys to see. And I feel like it is upside down now that I see my live video. So I don't think that's going to be very fun. So I think I am just going to go to my normal way of doing it here. And I'm also going to flip the camera angle so that it's the right way too. So there we go. Just because I tried to be fancy, didn't work. Whoops, no, that's not right either. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we'll see. I think it's because I have my camera tripod all in a different way. So hoping that that would be like a better fix for you guys. And like always, I'm trying to make it so that it's just the best possible thing. But thanks for bearing with me because that did not turn out the way I wanted it to. But I'm still here to craft a card and hopefully that'll turn out really well. Okay, so if you like to follow along with me, this is out of the annual catalog today, the big thick annual catalog, page 89. And so you can see the different images that are outlined with the beige kind of color there, and the beige color tells you that that's what punches out. And then also just above that is the Country Home stamp set too. And so I was kind of toying about using some of these possibly as one of the images to put for the sentiment to go with the card, because I love the Happy Harvest Blessings. I love the hello, love, and joy, and thanks, and just the different sentiments that are in that stamp set. And I feel like the two go together really well for this time of year. So maybe because I have a pretty full schedule of videos this month, I'll probably be showing you something with that too. So I'm seeing that my image is still reversed. I'm going to see there. There's a quick. There we go. Now it's the right way. Okay, sorry. I'm probably... Yes, thank you, Wendy. I just saw your FYI, you're backwards at the same time. I noticed that too. And thank you, because like it's important, I think. So I was just trying to play around with that, and I knew I had to switch, but I didn't have my tripod the right way. So as I switched it, you guys got the ceiling, and so now I think that I am the right way. But I'm still hoping that I can find a way that you guys can see my hands. Maybe I just need to have like a headband on. Just kidding. That would be like 2 motion sickness right there. Okay, so here is today's card. So thanks again for bearing with me. So I went through a lot of steps and stages and processes to get this the way I wanted to, even though it's a very simple card, simple layout, but I just had a lot of things like where to put the sentiment. Do I want a longer sentiment? Do I want it down here? Do I want it on the front of the apple? But this is what we came up with, and I want to show you how I came about getting this card today. So I started with some crumb cake cardstock, and then I'm folding that the long way again. So just taking my 8.5 by 11 and cutting it at the 4 1/4, and then scoring it at 5 1/2 there. And then I'm going to make a background. And if you remember the card that I made last week, which was also last month, can you believe it's September 1st? I told you my favorite image out of the whole stamp set was the image of the seeds. And so I thought that was kind of fun. Thanks, Ronnie. I love the apples and I love the pumpkins too. I was just telling everybody my favorite image though are the seeds. So I'm just going to, with the crumb cake ink that up. And then I'm just going to stamp that across the bottom. And so if it goes off, that's fine. It has a complete border image there. And then I'm going to take the image that looks like a slice or wedge of the apple has been cut. And so you could just leave this like the pale color that in with the seed and do a little bit of red for the skin. But this is just going to be kind of a background filler so that my background doesn't look so blah. So I'm just going to ink up. And I'm inking it up every time before I stamp, because the crumb cake ink isn't a super dark ink. And with this color of cardstock, I kind of want to make sure it shows. And I don't have to worry too much about that center, because that is where I'm going to put the focal point of the images and the rest that I'm doing there. But I just want to make sure that we have something showing up kind of around the edges there. So that's that. And so I can just set that aside for now. And then I hope you guys aren't tired of me showing the Plaid Tidings Designer Series paper from the holiday or the August through December catalog. I love this stuff, and so I keep using from it, and so pretty soon you're going to be like, well, I guess we don't have to be tired of that anymore because Belle will have used it all up and we don't have to see it anymore. So what I love, it's got great designs for fall, for Christmas, and just for generic too. So I'm even thinking like today, this one caught my eye more than anything. What a fun guy card. It almost looks like a guy's flannel shirt there too. So just kind of fun. So the last one here in the bunch is also what I'm going to be using. And sometimes I see something like this and I'm like, not that I'm wasting it today, but it's like, do I want to use that today or save that for Christmas? And such too. So yeah, and Ronnie, yeah, this could be your background here, or like I did the background stamps. And sometimes it's just fun to make something that's part of the stamp set be your background too. So this is going to be my next layer of background. Hi, Tori. I didn't know if you'd watch today or if you were too busy having fun with grandkids, which is awesome. Good for you. Okay, so what I did and what I love to show you guys is that to make this size for what I'm using on my card is I cut it at 4.5, so this strip is now off, and then I cut this piece by 3 because I wanted to try and get 2 out of 1 piece because this is 6 by 6, so that way you can get at least 2 of these cards and still have a nice 1.5 by 6 inch strip on what's left. So I have that, and then I'm going to run that through my cut and emboss machine. And you guys know today everyone can get one of these machines. I'm so excited. So for the last month, just demonstrators could get it, and today everybody can get the new cut and emboss machine. So today is the first day, and I'm just trying to think what the most popular questions are or have been about it. But yes, the sides fold up in case you haven't been watching videos, and the price is $120. So some hostesses, the Big Shot, the old machine, used to be a half price item with your party, but with the new machine, it is not available to be a half price item. When the mini cut and emboss machine comes out, that can be half price, but not this machine. I'm ordering today, I already ordered it, the magnetic layering plate to go in here too. So I don't have that yet, but I ordered it today. Otherwise, that's the only thing I've had to order to go with it, and you don't even have to have that to use it. Okay, so enough about that, but not really because I love the new machine. So what I'm going to be using next is the rectangle stitched framelits. So there is a very nice large collection of a ton of rectangles that are all stitched that come part of this set. So I love it when you buy a set and you just go, oh my goodness, there's like tons of stuff. So like this is the size of a card front, and then different varying rectangular shapes too. So some are thicker, some are skinnier, things like that too. So I'm pulling out this one. And it honestly just barely fits this piece because remember, I really thought it was important to get the 3-inch width on there. And so it's cut 3 by 4.5. And because it's such a tight fit, I am literally laying the piece of paper on top of the die with the die right side up so I can see to make sure that that paper doesn't move. And if I had the die down on top of it, I wouldn't know if maybe one of these would be sneaking off or something where I might get a crooked cut. So this I'm just going to slide through. And so this works when it's a shaped die, but if it's something that you have cut or stamped first and then need to cut out, it's hard to kind of put things upside down because you can't see where you stamped. So this works really well for something like this. So I'm just going to pull that out here. Hi, Janice. And then you can see, hopefully the camera has a good angle at that. Yes, you can see where now this DSP has a fun little stitch to look to it. And it's not a big wow moment, but it does really do something with the card that gives it that little extra special thing. And there's hardly anything that gets cut off of my little scrap there. And the rest is stuck to my cutting plate, it looks like. So it worked and it was like a tight fit, but doing the tight fit makes me be able to get 2 cards out of that. So the next layer that I'm going to tape this to then will be 3 1/4 this way by 4 5/8 this way, just because that is what will frame the size of that. Yes, Tori, that is how it is, and we will see you when we see you. Go have fun with those grandkids. Fun, fun. Okay, so I'm just gonna tape this down to this like so, and then depending on how kind of my my paper cut out and where the edges landed, I see that there's kind of a darker red here and kind of the lighter crumb cake. So I'm just gonna have this now be my bottom just because it's a little bit darker, which gives it a heavier feel. And then I'm just going to take my tape and tape that down onto my card here. So it's going to cover up some of those apples, and I also want to make sure that it's not covering up any of those fun seeds on the border there. Okay, so now I'm going to make an apple for you guys. So this is the cherry cobbler. You could make them if you want a brighter apple. You could make your apple with real red cardstock too, but the cherry cobbler is what the package says is in it. So I love it. If you ever wonder, like, how do you know what's in your package? Right here it lists the colors there, so then you don't have to guess. I like that, and it's a big help for me. Hi, Becky. So I'm just gonna ink this up, minus that molar shaped inside that Stampin' Up cut out for us. And then I'm just gonna ink that up here right on my cherry cobbler cardstock. And so next I can take my apple builder punch here. So it's always important to stamp first and then punch. Hi, Missy, good to see you on here again today. So then I just, here I'm gonna go around my camera and from the top, load that in, and then I can center that apple like so, ta-da, boom, and it punches it right out. Okay, so then the other 2 pieces that I'm going to need for my apple are the little stem here, and this is soft suede, just a scrap of soft suede. So my stamping friend Lisa is like, oh yeah, tell me what you do with your little scraps. I save them for just such an occasion as this, or even a little bit bigger scrap of shaded spruce cardstock. I'm just going to punch out a couple times for a couple leaves, and then these little scraps I'm just going to put aside, and I think I'm done with the punch. Get that out of the way. And so how to assemble this, oops, this isn't a scrap, that's my stem. I'm just going to take my glue dots and press right up against the top but on the back side and find that glue dot, and I just kind of give it a twist, and that will release the glue dot onto the back side of the apple there. It's kind of clear, so it's not going to show up great. And then with that, I'm going to take my stem and just push that into the glue dot there. And the glue dots are small but mighty. They are wonderful for the stickiness, and they're wonderful for the fact that they're not a big blob of glue. And so I'm going to do that same technique with my shaded spruce leaf here. And this is going to be the center leaf. So I'm going to stick 1 leaf on the front and do that same technique there, and or on the back side, excuse me, and then this one will be on the front. So this is the center apple for the card. And just like magic, there's 2 more apples. So I thought, you guys, if you've seen one apple, you've seen them all. So I decided to save time and just make the other 2 and show you how I made the one. So then I also rotated how I made the leaves to point out depending on which way they sat. So I didn't want this one to be tucked and then you couldn't see it and it looks goofy. So kind of remember that if you want to make a card similar to this. And then I think just having 2 leaves on that center one makes it look fuller and fills it out. So then next, what I'm going to do is just take and put some of my adhesive on my 2 outer ones here. And I've got, a couple glue dots, but nothing that's too bulky that I'll need dimensionals for those outside ones. But for the top one, because it's going to be going over the other ones and I want it to stand out more, I'm going to put some of my dimensionals to pop that up like so. Got that. And like I said yesterday, a lot of times I just lay out my things upside down with all the adhesive, and then when I'm ready to put things on, then it's all sticky and ready to go. Okay, so I kind of want to have these apples so they're a little bit of the black of the outside edges showing, so it kind of frames not only the pretty paper, but it kind of frames my apples as well. And then I also want to make sure that my apples aren't sitting too low, because I went through all that work to do the stitched embossing, or excuse me, die cutting with the embossing machine and such. So that still shows, and then I'm framing those apples. And then this is just going to sit right on top like so. I just think this is so warm and fun. I was excited about this card. And what is also fun about the stamp set and the cards, so this is where you could pause and go, okay, do I have a teacher in my life? Do I want to make a card that says welcome back? And the give thanks, I thought maybe you went more with the pumpkin, as well as obviously the pumpkin. If you have a need for a get well card, is great. Or if you have kids and want to send a card to their teacher, I thought that is a perfect one there too. So I love the different sentiments for both the pumpkin and the apple. So the one I chose is the You Make Me Smile. And here I just have a couple more strips or scraps, as you might want to call them, crumb cake. So I'm just going to ink up the You Make Me Smile in the black ink. And I'm just going to put that on there. That's a little crooked. I'm going to see if I can get it a little bit better. We'll see. There, much better. And then with my scissor, I'm just going to cut that. I could do some kind of punch. I feel like I've been using that banner punch a lot, but actually I kind of just wanted this to be kind of just rectangularly square, nothing special about it. And because the sentiment itself is pretty square in how it's designed, it's pretty easy to just cut that like so and not have to worry about too much. So this is about a 1/2 inch strip. And then I just had a 3/4 inch black strip. And then what I'm going to do is just take some of my adhesive there, or if you prefer glue dots, then what I do often when I am just kind of winging it. I mean, I'm obviously doing this on purpose. Sometimes winging it means I don't know what I'm doing, but for something like this, when I'm just doing that, I just adhere it right on instead of cutting ahead and hoping it fits or doing any measuring. I just put that right on there and then kind of eyeball like, okay, that's how much of an edge there is there. So that's where I'm going to cut here too. So yeah, that would, make a great teacher card, Ronnie. I see your comment. Very nice. Okay, so since this apple is popped up with the dimensionals, I felt like I kind of wanted the sentiment to pop a little bit too. So I'm just going to put a couple dimensionals on here like so. And it just kind of reminds me of a homey little kitchen with fun wallpaper, kind of like grandma's house. June is a great mother, mother-in-law, grandma, everything all wrapped into one. So this kind of just makes me like think of her heart and her aura of being just warm.